Hello and welcome to Should I Buy Games. My name is Connor Evans, and today I'll be talking about Dark Souls 3. I want to be completely transparent about this. I have not beaten the game. I'm about 65% of the way through, and due to my skill level, I've lost the will to go forward. That's not a knock on the game, you'll have to stick around to hear my full thoughts on what I've played so far. I just want to be completely clear and have you know that you can take everything I say with a grain of salt. With that out of the way, let's get right into it. Dark Souls. The words make my chest contort as I get a Vietnam flashback of being bludgeoned into the ground by some of the most horrific monsters my young eyes have ever seen. No matter what level of gamer you may be, Dark Souls has more than likely come up in a conversation or two. It's notoriously difficult, and that's often the topic of conversation when the game is discussed. The sad thing is that Dark Souls has so much more to offer than making you want to pull your hair out. Let's get into what keeps me coming back to this abusive love-hate relationship. There's a sense of mystery that brings out this primal urge to explore that I've rarely felt in the last 10 years of gaming. Direction is sparse, and I found myself scratching my head more than once trying to figure out where my next objective was. It's that, what may be over there that is so damn enticing in Dark Souls 3 because something interesting is almost always happening over yonder. Dark Souls 3 rewards exploration and trying new things out, with trinkets, shards, and weapons, as well as a bounty of souls to enable your character to get stronger. Getting these souls is no easy task. The gameplay is hack and slash or attack from afar depending on which class you decide to go with, but saying that cheapens just how complicated fighting even the simplest of enemies can be. Every move has to be calculated. Running up and slashing away will more often than not get you killed quickly. Timing your strikes and knowing when to attack, throw up a shield, or run away to heal is key to your survival. And that's just fighting basic adversaries. The bosses turned gameplay on its head, making me think many of the early bosses were impossible to beat as I got demolished by a swift 3 hits. Each boss has a radically different moveset, not to mention that many of these bosses will completely change halfway through the fight, making you forget everything you learned from the first half to adjust to the second. The bosses are where Dark Souls 3 shines. Every boss I got the chance to face excited and challenged me in such a way that I couldn't help but come back for more. My heart would begin to beat rapidly as I got the monstrous beast down to 1/4 of its health. My palms began to sweat profusely, and my eyes began to dry as I couldn't pull them away from the screen for even a second to blink. Being hasty would mean certain death, and I had to keep calm, cool, and collected if I was going to pull this off. The magnificent beast roared towards me, only to slow to catch its breath after such a forceful attack. This was my chance. I reared back to strike, landing a combo of 5 hits to the pelvis. My eyes grew wide as my foe's health diminished to nothing. I had done it. My enemy fell, and the words "Air of Fire Destroyed" showed on the screen. I'm not gonna lie, I let out a squeal of excitement more than once after beating a boss that had kicked my ass 10+ times. It's exhilarating, and yet another reason on the list of what is so enticing about Dark Souls 3. Time for the bad. This is my third From Software Souls-type game. I played through more than half of Dark Souls 2 and Bloodborne and enjoyed both greatly. Needless to say, I was excited for what From Software was going to throw my way next. Dark Souls 3 is a great game that builds on the tropes of all the Souls games, but began to feel like more of the same. Many of the early areas felt oddly familiar. A castle, a swamp, a forest. I can imagine that coming up with new ideas can be difficult your 5th time around, but this is a glaring problem that I came across. I want to take some time to talk to the fellow newbie to the Dark Souls series, so if you're a badass veteran, just ignore this. This game is hard, and gives little direction as to how you get better. I've made it 3/4 of the way through 3 Souls games now, and found myself stuck at an impenetrable wall of difficulty. If you don't have the time, effort, or willpower to learn the ins and outs of Dark Souls 3, then don't by any means pick it up. If you play games as an escape to just shut your mind off for a few hours, you will not find refuge here. Dark Souls 3 is a brutal, yet memorable journey. Even though I don't have the capacity to complete the game, I will still cherish the 25 hours I spent exploring this mysterious world. Dark Souls 3 is a buy, and a worthy sequel that will send the From Software Dark Souls 3 series into the sunset. Praise the sun indeed. What did you think of Dark Souls 3? Do you agree? Disagree? Why? Leave a comment below and tell me what you think. If you like what you heard and want to hear more, be sure to click that subscribe button to stay up to date on all Should I Buy Games content. Are you excited for Uncharted 4: Thief's End? Go over to twitch.tv/shouldibuy_games to watch me stream the whole darn thing starting on May 10th at midnight Eastern Time. This is the unveiling of the channel, and I will begin to stream consistently from then on. I'll leave a link in the description below. With all that in mind, remember, let me waste money so you don't have to.